It's about 10 degrees, so I thought what's a better idea than let's get the bikes out the garage. Welcome to, or if you are already a subscriber, welcome back to the channel. As I've recently been reminded by some of my subscribers, it's been a very long time since I've posted anything on the channel. Nearly 10 months, in fact. For that, I apologise. Who knew that some of you enjoyed listening to me ramble on so much? Anyway, thanks for your comments and for the feedback. Right, so where have I been? Why did I disappear? Well, as I'm sure it does for many of you, life and work gets in the way, and in my case it's mostly been work has got in the way of life. I work at sea and spend many months of the year away from home, and the last year I was mostly working out of a shipyard in Germany, and then I spent my summer leave on holiday with my family. Scotland didn't really get much of a summer this year, worse than what we normally get, and the rain and the wind has been horrible. The winds were over 100 miles an hour a couple of nights ago. What that means is that both the Bobber and the T100 have been tucked up the garage since the beginning of the year. So long ago that I can't actually remember what condition that I left them in. So it's time to open up the garage, pull away the cobwebs, and we'll find out what is in store. Not going to show you the garage as it looks like it's been looted. In other words, it is a complete mess. Another downside to having spent months and months away. It's a work in progress. Right, I'll pull the bikes out and we can have a look at them. Okay, so the good news is there's no puddles of oil below either of them. Tyres are still inflated, though I will check tyre pressures before getting them out on the roads. Looks like I've left them both in relatively clean condition, although they are both quite dusty and need a good wash down. Chain on the Bobber looks alright, although that needs a good clean now. It's looking a bit black. But the one on the T100 has gone kind of rusty. The gold chain that I've got on the Bobber always seems to fare a bit better than the standard chain that's on the T100, so I think I'll look at changing that. I covered them both with GT85 before I went away. After I wash them and dry them, I tend to put that on pretty much everything. I put it on the engine blocks, I put it on the exhausts, anything chrome, especially on the T100. I cover a lot of it just to try and prevent corrosion whilst they're left standing still for such long periods of time. Every time I go away and leave the bikes, I leave them full of fuel, and I treat the fuel with a fuel stabiliser, so it should be still good to go. What did I forget though? Because I did forget something. I forgot to put them on the trickle charger. Now I've actually got a Triumph trickle charger with a connection for plugging into the Bobber, so there's no excuse there. And I should have really put my other trickle charger onto the T100. I've still to rig up a permanent solution for that, but I forgot to put both of them on. So that's a bit of a faux pas. So the moment of truth will be, we'll try and start them and we'll see if the batteries have still got any juice in them. So we'll start with the Bobber because that should technically be the easier of the two to start. Right, so we'll stick the key in, ignition on, fuel pump comes on, that's a good sign. Moment of truth, and nothing. So there we go, so the Bobber's not going to start, so we'll have a wee look into that in a wee bit. So I'll just switch that one off and we'll jump over to the T100. Ignition on, fuel enricher out, put the fuel supply on, and oh, this one's trying to go. Third time lucky. Oh, nearly. There we go, keep going, keep going, keep going. There we go, T100 lives. Right, so what I'll do is I'll move the T100 out of the way so we know a wee look at the bobber. Hopefully you can hear me over the noise of the exhaust, but let's get this shifted out of the way. Right, so I've left that just ticking at idle over round the corner there. I'm going to let it run for 15-20 minutes to properly warm up, and then we'll check everything's alright. But I'm just going to grab the multimeter. We'll just check what the voltage is in the battery for the bobber here, just to see where it's at, and then we'll plug the charger into it, and hopefully that'll solve the issue with this one. Right, so let's check and see what voltage we've got in the battery. And there is a couple of ways you could do this, depending on what equipment you've got and how your bike's fitted. I've just got a standard Fluke multimeter here, and I'm going to measure it from the charging port that I've got here that my little charger plugs into, and I'll show you that in a minute. Now, if you don't have a fixed charging point, you could of course open up the battery box and take a reading straight off the battery, or you could take the side panel off here and take a reading out the fuse box. It's up to yourself. Right, so for me the easiest way is to use my multimeter here. So I stick it on a DC. This is the charging port here that I use to plug into the charger. If we see what we got. Right, so I don't really see that there, but we've got 12.09, so it's a bit on the low side. Now I will say that just because you've got voltage in your battery does not give you a good indication of battery health. This is telling you the charge status. It could be that you turn the key and this could just drop off because the battery's knackered. So we'll crank it and we'll see what happens here, and then we'll plug the charger in and we'll charge this back up to 100%. There you go, that's with the ignition on, so already straight away it's dropped 11.7, so battery's low. And then if we give it a crank, we'll see. Right, so that's me pressing start and I don't even see a drop there. So although the battery's undercharged, I would say that's an indication that it's not even getting as far as trying to crank, because I don't see any drop in voltage. So it could be that it's maybe just not enough to engage the starter motor, or maybe the starter motor's sticky. Let me just... Right, so I've moved the bobber around the side now, and we'll let that warm up. I will say that I did have a problem in the past. Only happened once or twice when I jumped the bike after I'd been out riding it for quite a while, and it wouldn't turn over on the first click of the switch. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but we'll see what happens once the battery's fully charged. You could see once it turned over there that the alternator's kicking out 14.5 volts nearly. So I'll just let that run for about 15 minutes, let the bike fully warm up, and then I'll stick the charger on it when it goes back into the garage. But I'm thinking, because the range stayed off, that maybe I'll try and get out a wee spin on the T100 for the moment. Right, since I've got this sitting here anyway, I'll just give you a quick look at this. So this is the Optimate Duo 2 amp, and this is a Triumph charger, or at least it's badged as a Triumph charger, and I got this off the Triumph website. Now the only reason that I bought this particular charger is because it was on sale and it was cheap, and the Optimate fitting that we just looked at on the bobber was already fitted to the bobber when I bought it, so this plugs directly in to the bobber, and then that's it, it's on trickle charge. Now I do have a C-Tech charger that I use for the T100 because I don't have the other side of this, the mating fitting fitted to the T100, though I do need to come up with some easy solution so I don't need to pull the seat off all the time to do the battery. Right, enough for now. Winter's coming, but I'm back and I've got a list of things that I still have to do to both bikes. I've got stuff to do on the T100, stuff to do on the bobber, and a few other off-piste bits that will become clear in due course. So wherever you are, I hope the weather's fair. I hope to see you all again on the next one. This is the point where I say please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.